Dufferin-Caledon.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is for the Minister of Infrastructure. According to public accounts documents, your government failed to spend nearly $3.3 billion in infrastructure spending during the 2016-17 fiscal year. Ontarians are waiting for essential infrastructure for their communities, from hospitals to highways. Will the minister provide a list of the projects that are now delayed or not started because 20% of the money he promised to communities
Minister of Child and Youth Services. Minister of Infrastructure.
I'm surprised by the question, Mr. Speaker. Given the extent of infrastructure investments we are making as a government, the member would know that we have a project or a project to move forward over 13 years with $190 billion of infrastructure. Most of that is getting out extremely quickly, Mr. Speaker, and we don't take any back seat with respect to our investments in infrastructure. It's been very, very well received across the province, Mr. Speaker. We also know that there's a tremendous amount that's coming on track immediately, Mr. Speaker, and that's coming on track, in fact, Mr. Speaker, in many of the ridings that the Progressive Conservative hold, Mr. Speaker, and I'll address that in my supplementary.
Supplementary.
You know, the facts show that 20% was not distributed. According to public accounts documents, this shortfall was due to, quote, lower than forecast construction activity for the period. Can the minister tell Ontarians why he failed to get these projects going? Was it red tape? Was it inaction? Or is this another stretch goal? Ontarians expect their government to deliver on their promises, but time and time again, you don't get the job done. All-day two-way go to Kitchener, developing the Ring of Fire, GO service to Niagara, just to name a few. With so many of your commitments and our communities waiting for action, will the minister table a list of infrastructure projects not started in 2016-17?
Thank you. Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we have the largest investment in infrastructure in the history of the province of Ontario. And yes, there were some delays because of the processing with the federal government, and some of them have been allocated to all of your ridings. For example, Mr. Speaker, if you look at Sarnia-Lambton, $8.43 billion, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, is allocated. It's on track and it's moving forward, Mr. Speaker. If you look, for example, at Leeds-Grenville, Mr. Speaker, $3,269,000 in the Clean Water Program, Mr. Speaker. If you want to look at Kitchener-Conestoga, Mr. Speaker, $10,673,000 for water, clean water and waste, Mr. Speaker. We can go on for every member and every riding to indicate that. Yes, some of these municipalities have not been able to deliver the actual shovel in the ground on time, but they're coming, Mr. Speaker. They're announced. They're allocated.